Hi friends, this is Easy IAS News Analysis. So today's date is the 24th 6 2021. So this is the today's editorial of a Hindu. So what is that news? Is that news analysis? This is the editorial. The Kashmir outreach and the Afghan storm. That means the government Jammu and Kashmir moves may be part of a more complex regional game involving India's security interests. Okay, so Jammu and Kashmir moves may be part of a more complex regional game. Okay, that could be the game. So involving India's security interests. Okay, so 2 years after, so look into this editorial. Okay, so here the writer's name is Suhasini Haidar. She is the writer, Suhasini Haidar. Okay, so 2 years after its dramatic decision to reorganize Jammu and Kashmir, the government appears to be rethinking some of the objectives it announced then, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi engages the erstwhile state's former leadership to discuss the future of the political process there. Mr. Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah had spoken of three specific objectives in the move to amend Article 373 on August 5, 2019. Apart from ending terrorism and violence in Jammu and Kashmir, flooding the region with development initiatives and investment from other parts of the country. So these are three objectives. Okay, so countries, and what happened is that country reclaiming those parts of the territory now occupied by Pakistan and China. Pakistan occupied Kashmir or POK and Aksai Chin, and ending the rule of political dynasties in Jammu and Kashmir that they claimed had held the progress of the state hostage in favor of a Naya Kashmir polity. Above all, the government underlined, as External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar undertook a series of visits abroad to explain its nuances. The decision was purely an internal one and did not affect India's ties with any other country. So this article is regarding the development of Jammu and Kashmir. So objectives and reality. What is that? Objectives and reality is that while 2 years may not be long enough to truly judge the success of its intentions, particularly given the impact of the novel coronavirus pandemic, it is certainly fair to say that the government has failed to make headway with most of those objectives. Incidents of terrorism and violence have no doubt increased since 2019. So, but that has come at the cost of massive privations to the people in the name of security. More than 5,000 people were arrested. The longest internet shutdown in any democracy was instituted for 213 days, and the development of troops still remains at peacetime highs. Okay, the plight of the ordinary Kashmiri battling daily intimidations from security forces, the closure of schools and online education for their children, and diminishing sources of income can only be imagined. Attempts to convince investors that this is a lasting peace have floundered thus far, and while the government claims it has more than 400 memorandum of understanding from business nationwide promising to invest in the union territory, this can only be tested once the money actually comes in, given the state of the national capital, national economy even prior to the pandemic. So what happened? What is the situation in border? Mr. Shah's claim in Parliament that his government was willing to sacrifice lives to ensure the return of Pakistan occupied Kashmir and Aksai Chin appears a much more difficult proposition in the face of the Chinese aggression at the line of actual control since April 2020. Chinese actions and the failure of military and diplomatic talks to ensure the restoration of status quo and have been coupled with the growing threat perception articulated by the Indian Army Chief that any future conflict at the LAC would need to account for a two-front situation with Pakistan at the link of control as well and vice versa. Even the United States is unlikely to countenance any military maneuver involving POK now, given its proximity to the Afghanistan theater and the US's pullout and the increasing strength of the Taliban will add to the risk calculus in the Delhi against such actions. Finally, the outreach to 14 leaders from Jammu and Kashmir, many of whom were arrested for months, indicates that the government's plan for a Naya Kashmiri polity is not drastically different from the previous polity that the Home Minister referred to derisively as the Gupkar Gang, despite intervening attempts at building a new party, that is Apani Party, siding the main parties during consultations and even promoting district development councillors as the new Kashmiri leadership during meetings with foreign development diplomats. And hardly an internal issue. The government's repeated assertion that its August 5 decision on Jammu and Kashmir was an internal one has also been put to a rigorous test. Despite considerable exertions by the Ministry of External Affairs and its mission worldwide, Jammu and Kashmir has now been discussed in more capitals, including the US Congress, parliaments in the United Kingdom, the European Union and the Nordic countries than ever been before, while several delegations of EU parliamentarians, ambassadors and United Nations diplomats have been escorted to the valley to elicit their approval for the situation here. It is ironic that countries which were openly supportive of the Modi government's military action in POK in 2016 after the Uri attack and of the Balakot strikes by the Indian Air Force in Pakistan after the Pulwama attack in 2019 have even so chosen to be so critical of a political and internal move. In addition, the Jammu and Kashmir dispute has been discussed at least 3 times at the UN Security Council, which had not touched the issue since 1971. Dialogue with Pakistan. So this is another. What is more galling is the notion that the decision to engage the previous leadership to discuss the restart of a political process and the reversal of the August 5 decision to downgrade the state to a union territory comes not from domestic considerations alone. In the past few months, it has been made clear that a back-channel dialogue between India and Pakistan is discussing assurances on Jammu and Kashmir that would enable a broader bilateral dialogue. Pakistan too has climbed down considerably from its previous demands of plebiscite and UN resolutions to Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's more recent statements that he would be willing to talk if there was a reversal in some of the August 5 steps, or if the Modi government profers roadmap on Jammu and Kashmir. Even Pakistan's insistence on the restoration of Article 3370 was a turnaround from the days when it rejected the article's validity. Both the downturn in Pakistan-backed violence in Jammu and Kashmir as well as the softening of rhetoric suggest a flexibility born out of international pressure as well as the sustained threat of Pakistan's blacklisting by the Financial Action Task Force. Such comprises by hawkish establishments in Delhi and Islamabad do not come from an internal rethink by themselves, and it would seem obvious that external prompting from the US keen to complete its Afghanistan pullouts and its negotiations with the Taliban as well as nudges from Saudi Arabia, Qatar and the United Arab Emirates of the Kingdom, publicly referred to by the UAE envoy as mediation, have been at work as well. The recent disclosure by the Qatari special envoy that Indian officials have engaged the Taliban leadership in Doha is also part of the matrix. The government's decision to shut down operations at two of its Afghanistan consulates in Jalalabad and Herat, which was earlier described as a temporary move due to the novel coronavirus pandemic, is clearly linked to safety concerns in the phase after the US pullout. Okay, the US factor in the broader geopolitical context, as the drumbeats to a US-China confrontation grow louder, India's global strategies will be further put to test. The US's expectations of cooperation from India to its east on China and the Indo-Pacific have clearly not been commensurate with New Delhi's expectations that America would reduce India's threats to its best from Afghanistan and Pakistan. Instead, it would seem the government's attempts to sever the Guardian knot in Jammu and Kashmir with its moves 2 years ago are being drawn into a more complex game of regional dominoes, where India's security interests are increasing in play. So this is this is Kashmir outreach and the Afghan storm. So this is UPSC mains SI point of view. This can be useful. This article is useful. Okay, so please save this article, friends.